Hey everybody. Today I wanted to talk about an article I saw this morning while I was getting my daughter ready for school that kind of reminded me of it, piggybacked on a similar article I had read in the news the other day, and they kind of go together on adults today, I guess. Anyway, so in the New York Post, and I'll put links in the comments if anybody wants to read them. Is anybody even watching this right now? And in the New York Post today, there's an op-ed about how, here we go, can't see it, no. Americans have become children, demanding, dependent, and needy. And basically talking about how more and more, there's like an epidemic today of adults who act like kids. People aren't growing up, I guess you could say. That adults are staying at home and living with their parents more and more is a common thing. Spending all their time like playing video games or pursuing their hobbies and not not doing your typical like career focused professional 9 to 5. Looking to get promoted and no ambition, I guess you could say. And, people are whiny and complacent and, lackluster and just not maybe driven to the way they used to be. The article I saw the other day was blaming low marriage rates on the lack of economically attractive men in the dating pool these days and how women look for providers. And because, these man babies, I get, there's so many more man babies now. Is that how you say it? Man children? That it's just women are suffering, I guess, because the dating pool is very, very shallow. Anyway, it's interesting because I'm the demographic they're talking about, right? And if I am honest, I probably fall into those traps. I'm 39. I'm pushing 40 pretty soon, and I got nerdy hobbies. I like to go to get together with my friends, and we'll do like game night every now and then. I still play video games. I grew up on Nintendo and stuff, so that's just always been a hobby of mine. But there's some truth to the article, I would say, because it is a problem, I would say, right? Not how do I say this? I don't want to put all the blame on me and us and my generation. It's not like we're lazy. It's not like people do this on purpose, right? I think it's just a sign of the times. It's the age that we live in, right? Example, it's just there's so much free time that we have now, and with technology the way it is, and how convenient and how portable it is. There's just so much more time in the day and so many more ways to just kind of consume entertainment. Does that make sense? And that's what this is. When you're a kid, stop calling me. What do you do in your free time? You play games, you draw, you color, you read, you go. Kids like to play. That's how they're entertained. And there's a lot of adults who, still like to play today, because it's so easy, it's so convenient, right? You can watch TV shows on like the bus or something, or on your break at work. You can play video games now, like anytime you want to. The article talked about how so many like movies today are geared towards these adult kids. Like I don't know, like the Marvel movies, right? It's comic book movies have never been bigger, and they appeal to like the kid inside of everybody, and they're everywhere. So it's like how you avoid getting sucked into that and excited. And the movies are good. How do you avoid getting, trapped into all that? When I was a kid, man, I was a comic book guy. I used to keep my lunch money every day from school and use that to go buy comic books every week because I never had an allowance. So I traded food for comics. That was me, right? And now that they're making movies about these like characters and stories that I used to read when I was a kid. How awesome! Of course, I'm excited. How cool is that, right? Companies are very good at repackaging and rebranding stuff from your childhood and reselling it to you now, that you're an adult and you have more money, more income to purchase those things. It's big, big business. But yeah, it kind of perpetuates, that kind of never-ending childhood, and it can be a problem because there's so much of it, and it's so convenient. It's so easy to just get kind of sucked into that. It's consumerism. I wouldn't say it's childish. I'd just say it's consumerism run rampant. But the consumerism just happens to target nostalgia and those things that you liked, when you were younger, because they already know what interested you before. Does that make sense? It's good marketing, I guess you could say. But yeah, when I'm trying to get stuff done around home or, work on my projects, it's probably my biggest time waster is just like my PlayStation or YouTube or, the phone here. And that's kind of what I'm finding all the time, is just like, well, I could just watch this video while I'm working on things or take a little break and go play Apex Legends for 30 minutes, and then 2 hours later, oh, well, there it goes. So it's hard because it's just so there. But, is it, like I said, is it a problem on adults today? Yes. Take responsibility, yeah. But it's, it's just marketing and consumerism is so targeted, so good at selling you the things that maybe didn't know you wanted, I guess. I don't know. Like I said, it's hard to escape that. The article yesterday talked about economically void men or unattractive men and how that affects, marriage rates today. I've been single a couple of years since my divorce, and I have no doubts. Actually, I know, doing the online dating thing, that I've had a lot of women turn me down or stop talking to me once I told them I was a teacher, right? Hey, how you doing? What are you doing today? Oh, yeah, that's cool. So, so what do you do? Oh, I'm in education. Gone. And it's it's a killer because there's no money into it. And that's why I left the profession. I know there's not, but it's affected me totally, no doubt. And I guess it kind of goes both ways, right? As a guy, when I'm out there in the dating world now, it's totally something that I look at. What's your career and what's your ambition? And there's a lot of women too. It's not just guys who have got sucked into that extended childhood, and it's just that's not appealing to me right now. I want someone who, like I said, has ambition and what's that? Oh, brother, he's bona fide, right? Is that what they say? I want a woman who's bona fide, who's got not a future, but she's got a bright road ahead. And I'm trying to get caught up and get there myself. Anyway, it's a thing, and it's probably going to get worse. I always wondered what is it going to look like when my generation becomes when we become seniors, right? Can you imagine the retirement homes when we get older? It's going to be full of VR headsets and beer pong tables and gyms for weightlifting in your 60s and your 70s, 60 retire, 70s and 80s retiring. and binge watching old shows, and streaming Avengers 12 or something constantly all the time. It's going to be Retirement's going to be very different because we're going to take these hobbies and interests with us, playing Snoop Dogg and Dr. Dre in the retirement home for those are the oldies we grew up listening on. It's going to be different, but again, it's not all of us to blame. It's just consumerism has really been taken to new levels in these last couple decades, I guess you could say, and they're doing yard work outside. I don't know if you can hear that. Anyway, so just kind of interesting, and yeah, I'm dying. Yeah, okay. I don't know what else to say. I'm out. Flame out.